Okay, let's look at question number 8. The formula for the volume of a cone is V equals 1/3 pi r squared h. The radius r of the cone may be expressed as. Whenever you see something like this, it's asking you to basically isolate that variable. So what we're going to do is we're going to rewrite our equation. So V equals 1/3 pi r squared h. And we want to get this term by itself. So we have to ask ourselves how to get rid of our 1/3, our pi, and our h. What I'm going to do is get rid of my 1/3 first. So I'm going to multiply both sides of my equation by the reciprocal, so 3/1. And when I multiply the left side of my equation, I'm just going to be left with a 3v. And on the right-hand side, my 3 cancels and my 1 cancels. So now I'm left with pi r squared h. Now I have to ask myself, how do I get rid of the pi and the h? Well, everything's being attached to each other by multiplication because I do not see a plus sign or a minus sign. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide both sides of my equation by pi and h. And when I do that, you're going to notice that on the right-hand side of my equation, the pi's cancel and the h's cancel. So now I have 3v over pi h equals r squared. This is a tricky one, because if you look at all of your answer choices, they contain a radical. So that means my answer is going to have to contain a radical. So we have to ask ourselves, how do we get rid of that square that's attached to our variable? Well, it's easy. We just take the square root of both sides. So I take the square root of both sides of my equation. Remember, when I take the square root of r squared, it just turns into an r. And now on the left-hand side, since none of those numbers are perfect squares, I just rewrite it as is. So I have radical 3v over pi h. And that will be my final answer. Let's see what the correct answer choice is. So it looks like it's going to be choice number 1. It cannot be choice 2 because the 3 is in the denominator. It cannot be choice 3 because the 3 is on the outside of the radical. And it's definitely not choice 4 because my answer doesn't contain a 1/3.